in spite of your best efforts to prevent the failure, do you think the failure can still happen? Possible, right? Though you have the production schedule, you have inspection, you are calibrating, you are doing the maintenance, so many prevention activity you are doing. But then also a defective happens. Then also deliveries are not happening on time. All of them are called failure. And so there will be a cost associated. Failure can be internal, failure can be external also. For example, I keep a mock exam today evening. Suppose you don't do well, that's a failure. But still, that is not known to the outside world, isn't it? It is only purely internal, right? Same way, if any failure that happens before dispatch of the product, that is called internal failure. The scrap, rework, productivity loss, material replacement cost, all those things are called internal failure cost. And then external failure. What is external failure? All the 6 days of training is over, mock exam over, everything over, but final black belt exam mark is less than 60. Now that is an external failure. All right. So which is costlier, internal failure or external failure? External failure will be more costlier. So you have to be careful. If you carefully prevent the internal failure, external failure automatically taken care. If you prepare well properly every day, and you don't need to worry about the black belt exam, automatically you will get through. So same way, if warranty claims, product recall, and product returns, and regulatory fines and penalties, your brand damage, and then complaint resolving time, these are all examples of cost of poor quality. What is product recall? Product recall.
Because of a particular fault, the complete lot is being recalled.
Yes, recalled from the entire market. You could have sold millions of units, but now you realize, oh, your product has got a big flaw. Product should not be in the market. It should be corrected, isn't it? Suppose you launched a car, millions of cars sold, and you later found that the airbags are not opening. Now it is very dangerous, isn't it? So you will recall all the units you sold. And now will you be able to bill your customer for these kind of mistakes?
No, sir.
It is going to cost you heavily. It happened to Nestle India in 2015. They recalled all their Maggi packets because of the food rules compliance. The lead content was high, monosodium glutamate was present, and so near about 38,000 tons of Maggi packets was recalled. Right? And similarly, Ford recently, they have gone for a recall. 375,000 Explorer SUV vehicles they recalled in Canada as well as US, right? Due to to fix a suspension issue. Recently, the Renault also had a recall. I do not know how many of you use Renault car, particularly the driver. The last month it happened. The front bonnet is automatically opening when you are driving the car. So they recalled all the car and then changed the locking mechanism. So free for the customer, right? So these are all examples of external failure. My only point is, why don't you deduct everything before dispatching the product, right? So that's the thing. So generally, cost of poor quality, people think, it is somewhere around 4 to 5% of the sales or 4 to 5% of the revenue. And now in my slide, all of you are able to see the iceberg in my slide. Iceberg is visible.
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is nothing but your cost of poor quality. And people generally think cost of poor quality will be in the range of 4 to 5%. But actually the reality is the cost of poor quality will be much more bigger than what you currently measure. Just to help you understand. If you look at the iceberg, what you see in my slide is only the tip of the iceberg, not the full iceberg. Right? The major portion of the iceberg is invisible. The major portion of the iceberg is invisible. What is hiding the iceberg here? The water.
Water.
Similarly, do you know what is hiding the problems in your company? What will be hiding the problems in your company? The inventory. If you have more inventory, you will not be able to realize the problem. If you give only what is required to your people, you will see a lot of problems popping up. Am I right or not? You give only what is required. Don't give anything, extra. What is required to produce 100 units, you give exactly 100 raw material. Exactly the required number of resources. And now so many problems will start happening. It is the inventory, excess inventory in any form, not only material. You keep more manpower, that is also inventory. Keep only what is needed, right? And so inventory hides all the problem, and that is why inventory reduction is important. If you make it one piece flow, that's great. So these kind of visible failures are easily measurable: rejections, warranty claims, repair, rework, over testing, and inspection, product recall. These are all visible and moreover measurable. But the invisible portion is much more in magnitude than the visible portion. I am going to uncover the water here. Now I have uncovered the water. Now can you see a bigger size of the iceberg hidden inside the water? Now the magnitude of the iceberg is bigger inside than what you see on the outside. That means if you visualize all the problems in your company, tools like the lean tools are nothing but mostly the job of each and every lean tool is to make the problems visible to your eyes. Sivakumar was teaching you so many things: Kanban, 5S, 7 waste. Ultimately, if you understand the tool and try to practice, for example, you practice Kanban, then that will speak about your your ability to produce product when a demand is required, isn't it? Kanban will simply prevent overproduction. You don't overproduce. You don't produce yearly. Only when there is a demand, you produce. It is like your coffee vending machine. I put a 10 rupee coin, a coffee is served. When the machine will give me the next coffee? When I put the next 10 rupee. Am I right? Every time when you initiate a trigger, a product is delivered. And now you have your system should be ready to deliver a quality product. You don't really have any time to make adjustment once the demand is received, isn't it? So higher levels of capabilities are required to implement any lean tool. Otherwise, problems will abruptly be visible to everyone. Your management can quickly understand that you are struggling to meet the customer requirement. So the invisible failures, I'm just listing down. When you account the invisible failures also, you will be able to understand that you are wasting 20 to 45% of your sales in terms of the cost of poor quality. Generally, companies don't measure because these are all invisible. These are all hidden. Why it is hidden? It is because there is a larger inventory and there is no proper culture and there is no people are not trained on all these tools and techniques, and so they think these are all quite common. No, these are all not common. These are common only in your company. So you have to eliminate all of them. So these are some examples of invisible failures. You want me to explain anything, you can ask me, or you just read it out. If you are comfortable with everything, then I have no issues. I think most of the thing you have studied already. Anything you want me to speak about it?
No, sir.
All are clear.
No.
Very good. Can somebody tell me what is OEE?
Overall equipment effectiveness.
Overall equipment effectiveness. I purchased an equipment which is 2 crores. Will you calculate OEE for the equipment?
Yes, sir. Availability.
Availability into
Performance.
into
Quality.
quality, right?
Quality.
So that is a lean tool. See, lean, no, it is not complex. Lean is not a complex concept, or the tools are not complex. You just have to know what is what, and then you should be able to practice it. Any resource you feel it is costlier, immediately calculate OEE. That will help you to understand the immediate requirement to improve something. If you simply think the machine is neat and clean, always ready to use condition, and it doesn't mean the equipment is used effectively. If you purchase the machine and it is available in a month, 30 days, are you using the machine for all 30 days? Are you running it all the 3 shifts? If you don't run a machine for throughout the day, that is also a problem. Am I correct or not?
Right.
Your company has invested 2 crores in purchasing a machine, and then you are hardly running the machine for 2 hours a day. Instead of that, you could have outsourced it, isn't it? Maybe that could have been a good idea sometimes. who knows it. We have to do the calculation. That is why, you know, tools like OE are required. So lean tools will make the problems visible. So this is to help you understand